Next question.
Yeah, the area outside the church, the library, which is currently a playground, an old playground. There are some suggested uses. I know Christina has one use, I have a different use. We'd like to put it forward. I was hoping you could do something like tables and chairs out there in the nice weather so people could go out there and read, like they have in some bookstores where they have a coffee bar, and you know, it would be so pleasant. I'm wondering if you have any plans for that outside area.
Well, actually, that outside area really belongs to REOC. That is not part of our lease, and we have been working with them in terms of talking about how they could refurbish that area and change the paving, you know, make it a little more user-friendly. So we have given them our advice, and we've given them some specifications on what we would recommend, and it's under their responsibility, and they know that we are very enthusiastic about it being approved.
Yeah, especially if the
So
doors
they've
open
told
right
us
on.
they would.
Can I add something?
Yes, please.
My understanding is REOC has $19,000 to spend on that space. This is money that was saved because they didn't have to build a ramp when you change the location. So we heard this right from Charlene, the president, they're gonna take that $19,000 ramp and use it outside. I don't know how, but she implied, you know, they're gonna redo that area.
Right. And
So there's money. It's already,
that's what we
it's already
understand
appropriated.
as well.
Yeah.
We understand that as
Yeah.
well.
Hi,
Hi.
so my name is Christina Delfico, and I just wanted to tack on to what Linda Heimer was saying, and I apologize for my voice, I'm under the weather. But, so the outdoor space, that REOC owns, the understanding is that 1,800 square feet are being regraded to be ADA compliant, and new surfacing to make it porous and better for the environment, and then removing the 1970s slide and the climbing structure. And REOC has already put aside over $100,000 to work on those basic, bring it up to speed. And so I'm on the participatory budget, I'm one of the delegates. And another need that I heard about in the community is for a 0 to 5 tot lot play space. So we went out there and we just measured the entire footprint beyond the 1,800, and there's over 7,000 square feet out there. There's a teaching garden that a current program has a beautiful relationship with the garden. So there might be a way for that 7,000 footprint to be a combo of seating, learning gardens for the existing program that's ongoing, an area naturally divided for 0 to 5, or what I like to call the future client readers of the library, and seating, a place for guest lecturers. My thought was to put that on the budget, the participatory budget ballot, to try to bring in like $1 million towards something like that. But I'm just curious, you know, if that is the right place for it. I don't have kids myself, so I'm just listening to a need as a delegate, and that's a need I've heard, that the 0 to 5 playground. Maybe yes there, maybe not there, and I just wanted to put it out there in this nice forum, because what a wonderful opportunity. 7,000 square feet, that could be like Highline / Hudson Yards / all the Queens libraries doing reading areas and garden and connections. So, but it's really up to the community. I just wanted to put it out there. And you know, I think Linda would like a nice relaxing adult area for coffee and reading. Also a great idea. So I'm just thinking, but I'm not wedded to anything.
My name is Eva Buspach. I'm from the Roosevelt Island Branch network. So I just want to say yes, a tot lot for 0 to 5 was one of the top wishes from the parents, because we lost that playground for the little children recently. But we also conducted a survey specifically about thoughts and wishes for the new libraries. I'm just going to give you that one list, and I will of copies for later. And most of the results, most of those top lines mentioned from our members, you already have in your list, but maybe some go in more detail. So yeah, I'm not going to read the list here, but whoever is interested, you have my email address there, we can be in touch, and if you need more feedback specifically from families on the line, we're happy to help.
And this is the type of thing, the list that's on this that you've provided, and I think you provided a similar list earlier,
Yes.
is the type of thing we would like to come back closer to opening when we're actually talking about what we do in this space, to get more feedback around this as well. So thank you, let's share this.
I also have one question. You mentioned that the meeting room would fit up to 30 people. How about the children's area? How many children? Because one of the wishes was actually meeting area for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. So how many children would fit in the children's room?
74. It's supposed, actually, it's supposed to be 74 people to fit in the community room.
Oh, 74 in the community room? And do you know how many in the children's room?
And it should, I think 74 is a little high, right?
Yeah, that's the maximum you can put without it being a place of assembly. So by law, that's the maximum you could put in there. But our calculation for the community room was that if you put in auditorium-style seating, you might seat 30 people in there, and the children's room is almost the same size. So it would probably be about 30 if you wanted to have a Boy Scouts meeting and move some extra chairs in.
Great, thank you.
So we've been joined by our council member, Ben Kalos. We're very happy to have him here with us this evening. Great supporter of the project, great supporter of libraries.
Thank you very much. Sorry for running late. Please let me know as you're having trouble commuting here. I came from City Hall and it should not have taken me an hour and 15 minutes. It should not. So just keep tabs, let us know. We'll keep trying to make sure we get our transit system up to par. So just you're aware of the dynamic between having to be in a city with the governor and TA that's accountable to you. But we're here to talk about the library, and I just want to say thank you to the public library for coming out here, for investing in the space, for doubling the size, moving to a new location, and actually having a community-driven process. But most importantly is actually you, because we can't do this without you. And in some parts of my district, people complain, oh, there's too much democracy. You keep making us come out to meeting after meeting to help us decide how to spend money and do this, that, and the other thing. Whereas here, you're able to give us some very valuable feedback and to direct our funding. I know there were some concerns about the audio looping, but that was integrated into the project as a direct result of the fact that it came in third on participatory budgeting, and I feel like it came in third in participatory budgeting because of all the hard work and advocacy of the people on Roosevelt Island. So, my understanding is because of the success here, this is something that the public library is looking at everywhere at all of their branches. So the 800 of you who voted for 700 or 600 of you who voted for that here, and I'm sorry Sharon Berman isn't here to hear this, has had an impact on the entire city of New York and the entire system, which is huge. So talk about having impact, it's not even just Roosevelt Island. In terms of on the public space, I've had a conversation with RIAC, and and I believe RIAC has heard the need for a 0 to 5 space, and it is an item that I think if we are able to get it through our delegate process onto the ballot, that is something that would be viable. My only hope would be that the project cost not exceed $500,000, simply because I want to make sure that there's room for IS-217 to finish their green roof, as well as the additions. But I think anything we can do would be amazing. I love the idea of furniture. If we can use $35,000 of capital to cover the removable furniture as a set, it's just a question of whether or not it's capitally eligible. So between all the different pieces, and in terms of the children's garden, the learning garden, I think that is a piece, which nonprofit currently does that? Is that I Dig to Learn?
No.
Living Library has that garden.
Perfect.
We were just before you came in, we talked about the multi-use space.
No, I was listening to it. I was hiding.
Yeah.
So I think it's just trying to work together to figure out what we want to use our space for and additional pieces inside the building. Because outside the building is going to be a combination of your participatory budgeting delegates. I want to thank Christina Delfico and everyone else who is it. Do we have other delegates from Roosevelt Island here tonight?
I don't think so. I think
Budget.
they're worn out from being delegates.
No worries. So the key thing is anyone can be a delegate, not just Christina, but all of you are leaders, so I know that folks have other responsibilities. Just thank you for doing this and engaging in a public process. And one other piece is our libraries need help. So this one is ready, but we also have the Webster branch and the 67th Street branch, and they have not been faring as well as Roosevelt Island is. Those sites both need heating and air conditioning and lighting, so that's just another piece. So, does anyone have any quick questions for me with regards to the library? Off-topic questions I'll take outside. I don't want to hijack their meeting, so if you want to, and I mean this in a polite way, not in a negative way, if you step outside the room, we can talk about it. Do not mean to be fighting words. Anyway, thank you for everyone's good humor and everyone who came out to the State of the District. Thank you.
As you know, the summer of 2017, the Cornell Graduate Tech Center will be opening, and with them there'll be a significant new residential population on the island of both graduate students, staff, faculty, administrators. I'm wondering if any plans separate from the normal capital plans for a new library have been considered given this unique population.
Yeah, so a couple of responses to that. First of all, we were very excited about the increase of people. That's new people who come use the library. And of course, we want our fingers in everyone's pie. Everyone should be using the public library. We have started talking internally about what programmatically we might do in partnership with Cornell, or those people like, they're probably partners in like educational programming and again, like guest lectures or things like that can take place in our space. What we were mindful of at this point in the process is making sure that the space is meeting the needs of a public library space for this community and not bringing them in too early that they're influencing the space in a way that doesn't meet your needs. But we are very interested in actually doing some community partnership with them and leveraging their expertise.
In terms of their own technical requirements, I'm sure they'll have their own library system set up there. But they are coming here as a graduate facility with families who will certainly want to use this library.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're excited about that. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Judy Birdie. I'm president of the Historical Society. And next door to the 7,000 square feet is Blackwell House, a nice little federal house that's sitting there in a decrepit condition. Hopefully, by 2018, there'll be life in the house next to you. But in the meantime, the archives of the Historical Society are spread all over the place, including my apartment. And don't ask. I know all about Queen Capilani, who visited Roosevelt Island in 1877 today, because someone called me. And God bless the Public Library's digital collection. I haven't found her picture yet, but I'm looking for her. And she came out to the island and visited the lunatic asylum, and there was a concert for her. Anyhow, we really need a space there for exhibits and for storing, having some historical materials available for the public there, because not everyone can come up to our limited space. And what did you plan? Not a room, an area for the local collections that will be sort of safeguarded, shall I say, because things have a habit of walking away.
Well, right now, we planned an area that I think I noted up front, but that's open, but we can look at the opportunity to have something more enclosed or a case.
I think what we would likely also want to do is look at the nature of the materials themselves, right? If they're valuable enough that they're going to walk away, perhaps we want to offer different solutions for that. We are mindful about having an exhibit and something that says Roosevelt Island within that space. So we think there's probably something we can do. I'd be more interested to learn about what's going on in the Blackwell, and is there space in the Blackwell for something like that?
You think this is a quagmire? Don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask. The house was taken back from their tenant in 1999, and we've been trying to get it completely repaired since then. Don't ask.
Well, you may remember the last meeting, the question came up about the historical newspapers and what have you, and we've been investigating that, and one option though is to take those newspapers off-site and make them available through a microfilm process in Manhattan. That's not necessarily the best way of handling this, so we probably want to have a conversation, and we'll bring Carolyn Broomhead back out. She was here last time.
She was here last year, because we actually found the historical newspapers in the branch, and there are some, but not the complete collection.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
My name is Sheldon Brooks, and I live in one of the new houses in Southtown, which has its own unique problems. We have a lot of people who work in the UN, they have families, don't speak English. And it's been causing us a local problem. But is the library gonna reach out to people who are really not fluent in English?
We're working, right now we have a conversational English class that takes place every Friday at the branch at 10:30. Hopefully when we move to the new location, we will have ESOL classes at the branch, and I'm working on a partnership with Sesame Street to get ESL classes for children.
We've also tested, just in it while we're on that topic, we've also tested in some of our other branches, such as down in Chinatown and then Upper Manhattan. With Google Translate now, you can go in and type a sentence and it translates into another, of having tablets at the desk where if you really need to communicate and you can't, you can use this device to help translate. We've had some limited success with it, but maybe that's because we're not using it in the right way. But there's a variety of ways we're looking at making, being able to communicate with people in other languages more effectively.
Going back to the floor plan page you have there, you moved your entrance from by the youth center to the left there, correct? Right by yes, right
The
there.
entrance is here.
What other entrance or exit do you have?
Well, there are emergency egress is here,
Okay.
and there is also egress here for emergencies. But people,
Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry. So those are just for. Oh, and there's egress here as well. But that is not for people to enter the library. The entrance is only here. This is for exiting on right now an emergency basis. Should plans be developed in the future, we can always make an exit out to the outdoor space. But obviously we have to be mindful of security, especially with children and everything else. So that's the plan right now, that we have this single entrance on the corner.
What is, I may have missed it, the darker green rectangles.
They're restrooms and service areas. So janitor's closet and things like that. Technology.
What about, there's an elevator to the second floor, but you're not using at all the interior court,
Right,
next to the youth center.
that has nothing to do with that.
That
The
entrance is gonna
tenant
be closer
upstairs.
to you.
Yes,
I
correct.
understand that was a recent change, correct?
No, we've only,
Always?
we've always been a
Always?
single, yes, that's our lease.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not recent.
My name's Juno. So first of all, I want to thank all the speakers for sharing a great presentation. I know it's been a lot of hard work. Actually, I pulled library cards in Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. And I have to say, it's actually had library cards that I brought over because I just checked them out. So I just want to give you again a round of applause just for the great presentation that you did. I know it's been a lot of work getting
We've been joined by our esteemed borough president,